Hi, Cari. Thank you so much for
Oh,
joining me. It's great to chat with you. So why don't you tell everyone about who you are and what your business is?
okay, great. Thanks. My name is Cari Sans, and I am a relationship guide and a licensed marriage and family therapist. And I work with couples that are in a marriage or a committed relationship that are in conflict or having struggles and just don't want to divorce and need some help. And I am in private practice, and my website is cariesands.com.
Awesome. So what was going on for you in your business before we did our work on your messaging together? What were some of the problems and yeah, what was going on?
The biggest challenge for me was not getting really clear on my message and so I was having a hard time marketing my practice as a
Mm.
result. It just felt really like I didn't know where to go with the marketing because that piece didn't feel solid. Um, and so I feel like I held myself back in the business back a lot by not having that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that sounds difficult.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you describe what you mean by holding back
Like
more?
I'm just putting the business out there and what I do
Yeah.
myself out there and how to say it and what to say. Like I'd have all these thoughts and ideas about what I would want to say or how to put it into words as to what I do. But by the time that happened, I felt like I had wasted time and I never actually put myself out there enough to market my business well.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's been different since our work together?
Yeah. So after working with you, Mimi, I felt like, wow, clear. Um, I shared with you just what you asked me for a bunch of things, and I shared whatever I had with you. And I felt like, okay, I didn't know what else to do, right? Like I'm just going to give her everything she's asking for, and then you gave it back to me, and I was like, oh wow, like you had it, like you got pulled everything out of what I gave you, and it just seemed so much clearer to me as to what I've like, oh yeah, that's what I do. Now I have this guide to, to help me feel more confident when I'm talking about my business.
Oh, that's great. Well, you had wonderful materials in the first place. You did. It was just I just went in there and
Yeah.
like you said, pulled out the things that I thought really stood out and were very representative of you and the work that you do.
And
Yeah.
that was helpful though, because there's all these different pieces and trying to put it all together. And, I'm a person that likes to jump from one idea to the next. So it just seemed like it was overwhelming to pull it all together and to really clarify what that message is. And you really helped me to do that.
Ah, great. Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it just clarified and
Yeah.
simplified everything a little. Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. So before working together, did you have any resistance to working with me?
You specifically, no. Um, I think there was some resistance to just
Yeah,
hiring someone to do that because
sure.
it had been just me in my business, and there's those thoughts like those limits, like, oh, I don't know if I can afford to do something like this, or I need to be
Mhm,
here in my business to be able to do that. But I felt like I wasn't getting ahead because I didn't have that message clarity. So
mhm.
I'm like, you know what? I it felt like a good opportune time to do it, and I'm so glad that I did because I didn't feel like I had after it was all said and done. I was like, I didn't need to be here. This helped me to get ahead, and I felt that that was valuable.
Yay, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. Um, where are you in your business now? Can you tell me as specifically as you can?
Yeah. So since then, I have used my messaging playbook all the time. It's got marks all over it. I probably need to print multiple copies of it just to have clean copies. But it just whenever I am questioning something, I can go back to that messaging playbook and just see, oh yeah, at one point I had just cleared my wall, but I have little Post-it notes of all the
Oh,
little pieces in there. So when I was maybe sharing something on social media, I felt like these are the things that I want, keywords or
yeah.
sentences that I wanted to have in there. So I kind of pulled out some of those little things to always have them front in mind and have them posted right here for myself to look at. And so I found that was really helpful. It has been some time now, and who I'm working with, I feel like is evolving a little bit, but I still see that what I have in my playbook is still relevant to what I'm doing. So
Mhm.
it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'm so honored that you mentioned the Post-its on the wall
Oh
and
yeah.
the
I was like, yes,
yeah.
these are the kinds of things that Mimi says I need to put out, like using my messaging. So I'm like, it'll be good just to have, little Post-it notes to remind me of the things, or even if it was just a cue to what I
Mhm.
wanted to post about or write
Yeah.
about. Mhm.
Yeah. 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 So I'm glad the playbook makes that easier,
Yeah.
that component of marketing easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Um, what else would I want to share? I guess I'm just kind of going back to, when I was saying I didn't, like, I was always concerned that I needed to be at a certain place. Like I had to have all these pieces together. I think that was probably another hesitancy around working with you or with anyone around, doing this, because I was like, well, I have to know more. But it really felt like you pulled out what I already had and really honed in to what my message needed to be. So that was really helpful. And I thank you for that.
Oh yeah, you're so welcome. Yeah, I understand that. I think sometimes it feels like I no, I totally get that. Like I need to get to this place in order for this thing to be effective.
Yeah.
Um, but sometimes it's like so what I'm hearing you say is that e- it's effective to have another pair of eyes
Yeah.
so you can go to the place that you want to go to.
Yeah. And I think that also the messaging playbook has been so helpful to have on hand, but I think just that it was worth it just to have that clarity. So, because it helped
Yeah.
me to have more confidence in my
Yeah.
business. And I've done so much more in my business as, not even specifically related to, you know, my messaging, like just growing my business. So I think it's been really helpful in that aspect as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's one of the purposes. It's not just
Yeah.
like yeah, because messaging and copy are part of the whole like machine of your business.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad to hear that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for sharing your
Yeah.
thoughts, and I'm really excited to follow you in your business and see where you go.
Yeah. Thanks for all your support and for, having me here.